Hi everyone, welcome to BISP Solutions. Today under Oracle Tax Reporting Cloud Services, we are going to discuss about the supplemental data custom reports and how these reports are created for supplemental data under Oracle Tax Reporting Cloud Services. So for this, first we'll go to the application of TRCS, under which we will open the application cluster where we have the supplemental data card. So we'll see what all supplemental data forms do we have created in the application. So we have some of the supplemental data form templates, and we'll try to create form templates. We try to create the supplemental data reports for the financial tax register form. So first we will see how this particular data form will look like once the report has been once the report is created, how this supplemental data will look like. So we'll open the supplemental data form. Here we have different sections. So we have the company information, transaction types, scope, and details. So all these will be different columns and rows in the supplemental data form. So from here on, now we'll go on to create the supplemental reports. So we have the icon here. We'll just go to the supplemental report creation. So here we have three tabs: queries, report groups, and reports. So under queries, we'll have to assign a query in order to create this particular report. So I want to create a report for financial tax register. So I can give the name which resembles it. Now you'll have to select that report type, the type of query. So we'll select the type as a report query, and we will now have to click on generate query. So under generate query, we'll have the option from which module, for which module do we want to create the report. So we'll select the supplemental data. For query now, we have different collections that were there. So for financial tax register, we had a different collections linked to it, such as the tax questionnaire, etc. So we can link it. And then we can select the different columns here. We'll just check once what all are linked with the financial tax register to confirm the collections. We'll just again go to the supplemental data. So the collection which is assigned is tax questionnaire. So we have selected the correct one. Just type the name again, financial tax register. We just click on generate query. Select the tax questionnaire. Now we have the option of selecting the columns, and the script will automatically be generated based on the columns and the filters that we have selected here. So first of all, we are going to select the columns that we want to show in our report. So say I want all these columns. Since it is the financial tax register, I want the entity information as well. I want the tax type. I want the tax details, jurisdiction, and last we can select registration. So we can select as many columns as we want. But in order for the report to be visible appropriately, we are going to select not all the columns, but the columns that we really need in our report. So we can exclude accounts receivable. So we have all these columns assigned. Now we can go to next. Here we have the option of selecting filters, of assigning filters. So for that, we can create a condition. So say we want to have the attribute entity that contains So we can filter out the entities that we want to have in our report, or we can also filter out any other column for which we want to get the reports done. So since we have selected attribute as end date, so we can give the value here as well. And any other option also we can select. So here you can see all of the columns, all of the column options are showing irrespective of the column that we have selected. So we can assign the conditions based on any of the other columns as well, and we can get the report to be generated. So right now we are just going to see a report without any filters. We are going to see the report for all the columns. So you can just click on OK. So automatically the query has been generated on the basis of the columns that we have selected and the conditions that we have assigned or we can assign. So on the basis of this particular SQL query has been generated. Now what we have to do is that we have to generate the XML file for this particular report on the basis of this query. So we are just going to click on generate XML. We could have also validated it before generating the XML. So the query is valid and XML has been generated already. So now we'll have to create a template for this. So we'll have to open the MS Word, and through the use of BI Publisher add-on in the MS Word file, we'll be going to create a template for the same. So here you can see that we have different options. Just a second. So we have the BI Publisher here. So for this, we'll have to download the BI Publisher extension and add it onto the MS Word ribbon. So here we have under BI Publisher, we have the sample XML option. So we'll just click on the sample XML and it will take us to the local system, and we have just downloaded the XML for financial tax register. So we just select it and upload it here. Data has been loaded successfully. Once the data has been loaded, now we have to select the table wizard. So we'll just select the table wizard. Under the table wizard, we have three options, namely table, form, and free form. So we'll select the table and we'll carry on with the default data set. Now you can see that all the columns that we selected in the application while generating the XML are shown here. So we can select. So it's saying which fields do you want to show in your report. So here again, we have the option of selecting the fields that we want to show in our report. So I want to have all of them. So I can just click on the double arrows here so that all the columns will get generated in the report. We can just click on next. Then it will provide us the option with from which column or how would you like to group your report. So grouping in my case will be based on the entity. And then we can also provide additional group by options as well. So, and we can select how we want to group it. We want to group it above, we want to group it on the left hand side. So we'll just keep it simple right now and click select entity wise grouping. Then we'll have the option of sorting it out either in ascending or descending format and on the basis of date or text or number. So we can sort it as well. So we'll sort it via close date in my case. So in the ascending order, we'll have the data sorted by on the basis of the close date. So it is since it is date or text, so we can select date or text. Now we'll just finish it off, and we can see that we have the entity at the top. We are grouping it by entity. We have all the different columns here, and the data will be sorted by close date. So whatever data will be there in this particular form will be sorted by close date in the ascending order. Now we'll have to save the template in RTF, that is rich text format. So we just save it in the local file. We'll give it any name. So we can give it financial tax register, and we will select the rich text format, and we'll just click on save. So now we have the financial tax register in the rich text format available. So once this is done, first we'll save it. We missed saving it. We'll just save and close. So now we have the financial tax register in our queries. We also have option of report groups here. So this particular group is supplemental data group for which we are creating. So we'll go to the reports, and we will again click on the add icon here. We'll provide the name of the report. So financial tax details, we can say. Then we'll have the option of selecting the query. So we have the query name as financial tax register. Group we can assign as supplemental data, or we can create any other group that we want. Then we have the option of the output format. So we can either do it, we can either generate the report in PDF, HTML, XLS, CSV, and CSV formatted. So say I want to generate my report in PDF right now. So I'll just select PDF. Then we have to assign the templates. So the template that we have created through the query and BI publisher, we'll just browse it and get it here. So we have the financial tax register RTF format. We'll select it and click on OK. Then we can also assign certain parameters from the parameter query. So if we create a parameter query, say we have a particular parameter query for late tasks. So we can get different parameters here as well, but right now we don't have any parameters for financial tax register. So we'll just assign the access. And access has to be assigned. So this is optional. The parameters may or may not be assigned, but access has to be assigned to any of the user. So we can assign it to service administrator in this case, or we can also assign it to Papa user or user view. So once this is done, we can save and close it. And we have done the backend part now. And what we need to do now is we will go to the library and see how our report is getting generated. So this is the last part in this report generation process. We'll go to application. We will go to tools cluster, and which we have the library card. So we'll open the library card, whereby we have all the reports, forms, dashboards, and different types of documents and infolets as well. So we'll go to supplemental data reports. Under supplemental data reports, there are two types of reports. One is investment, which was created earlier. Right now, we have created the financial tax details. So we'll select on it, and we'll just click on the PDF that we have here. And we'll click on generate. So we can change the name here as well, but we don't want to change it. So we'll just click on generate. So once this is generated, it will be downloaded into a zip file. So we'll open the zip, and there is the PDF document that we have. And we have the report for this particular data as well. So entity which was selected in the application was LE101. The close date is 1st July 2021. Accounting status, etc. So in this manner, we could have selected, we could have applied different conditions as well into a report, and the report could have been generated. So since we have grouped it by entity, so the entity is not in the, so entity is at the top of the uh, table or the columns in this particular case. So that's it for today. In case you have any queries, you can connect with us at bispsolutions.com. Thanks and have a great day.